Alright, not sure if I'm going to keep the volume on here or not, but we're going to switch over from the paddles to the tines so we can do tilling. We'll take a look at the manual first. Start with the hitch pins. Do those. Slides right off. Got to turn that the other way. Right in here it tells you the direction for your tiller. You want your position down below the drive shaft, and for the paddles you want the position above, which is where I have it now. So I have to loosen that and switch it around. Mayhaps the actual ones on the shaft here. So you're going to want to loosen the ones on the head itself. So if you make the mistake of taking this off like I did, you have a separated slot here. That's where your square bolts are going to go. And then you have two clamps that are going to fit on either side of that shaft in there. They're going to pop back out. Sure as shit. I haven't mentioned it before, get one of these little magnetic ashtray part holders. Double check for the tiller, we want to face them down. I'm also suspecting that we need the smaller shield on here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Once again, take everything off. See, the bigger shield is for the rest of this, for those flaps. For the tines, for the tiller, you only need the small one. Comes to your tines, you got two types here. So you're going to fit them together like that. They also have a square bit inside, so you're going to line that up too. Also take note, they have an arrow for the direction that's tilling. Those arrows should go toward away from the machine. You do your So yeah, the part with the opening is going to fit inside. See how it slides inside like that. And then your male, for lack of a better term. We don't want to use the wrong pronoun. Just gotta check the little arrow on there. Make sure when you're putting it on the machine, it's facing away from the machine. Nice big pins fit right on there. Double check and then good to go. Always keep your pieces together. I like to keep the manual with all the pieces together. So it's a small tiller piece. Now we'll try tilling with it. All right, there you go. That is 4 tilling areas. None of them are very big, but these are the different plots we're doing away from our regular garden. This one is for the sunflowers. I had done a hand tilling last year. Tried pulling out a lot of the weeds. Our chicken coop used to be here. There's a lot of good fertile stuff underneath, but the weeds grew in. The weed block was on over the winter. Those are all the old stalks. I pulled those up. I should have did a video of the Ryobi string trimmer. So this is the Stihl multi-system power tool. This has the garden tines on it for tilling. I did post another video using the flat paddles for pushing around the donkey manure in the area. This works pretty good. These tines have a little bit of a curve to them, all uneven. When you're tilling, obviously you want to see where your big gap is in the middle. That's why I was kind of trying to overlap the rows a little bit. This did sit all winter with a little bit, not a lot of gas in it, and it started up no problem. This is the first time I've tried it this season, was today. So as I pointed out when I was working on this first bed, it's you could operate it with one hand if you had to take your hand off. Obviously you want to keep both hands on in your safe operation, but you know, say you got a deer fly in your head and want to smack it quick, it's not going to get away from you. If you're a moderately strong adult male, it is going to buck when you hit rocks and stuff, but I was very surprised how concentrated the power was. It did a really good job pulling up more grass than I expected. That's what I wanted to show here. I did mow up here today, and I tend to leave the grass a little long, but that was a lot more grass than I expected to cut through. That is not the intended use, obviously. But I figured while I had it out, let me try that before I took the shovel and pulled all that up. But it did a really good job trenching that out, and I also wanted to show how close you can get to a fence. You know, how precise you can do. So it did really good with that. And like I said, this was unexpected. I think it's a testament to the power in that machine. Again, the power is very focused in that engine, very, you know, right on point. Almost a pleasure to use. I'm not a big fan of any, you know, gas power tools, but I think it works better as a tiller than it seemed to work as the with the paddles on it. So this stuff was a dream to till. You saw it didn't take me any time at all. This this area we had planted last year, we, you know, tilled it up pretty good by hand, but we used to have goats in here, so there was a lot of hay and manure clumps and stuff, and it was very clumpy last year. I had tilled it a couple of times to not much avail, but we had planted tomatoes in here and some fancy lettuce and had weed block down, and a lot of the lettuce went to, well, some of the lettuce went to seed, and it kind of spread around, so my wife is transplanting it in here. But you just see how gorgeous this soil is, and there were really no big clumps to work with here, so I was really happy. I didn't want to spend too long on it. I didn't want to dig down too deep. So overall, I would highly recommend this machine for the tilling. I am going to give it another go with the paddles on it. I understand my situation is not necessarily ideal for that, but then again, I have a situation that's not ideal, and I'm looking for a machine or a tool that can really help me out. So this is first weekend in June of 2021. Got up to 88 degrees here in Marlow, New Hampshire. Finally starting to get some clouds in. And we're getting a heat wave starting. But yeah, more tool reviews coming, more fun around the yard coming.